15 years ago, we heard stories about South Korea and how people in that country were making a living playing StarCraft professionally, and that the best were treated like rock stars. Hopefully their trajectory doesn't follow that of actual rock stars because, ugh. It seemed like such a foreign concept back then. Fast forward to today, however, and professional esports has become well and truly established worldwide. Players like Dendi and Faker are household names. Colleges are offering scholarships for the best in esports, which means a way into college without crippling debt or crippling concussions. And every other weekend seems to host a tournament that rewards hundreds of thousands of dollars. You may look at all of this and figure that the world of esports is all glamour and fortune, screaming fans and ad deals like this one.
Sunsilk base elements.
Geez, you're a pretty boy. Ease up, mate.
Hey, it's feeling soft and shiny, mate.
It's for blokes.
Yep, that's some Oscar award-winning acting right there. But much like the Magpies' acting ability, the dream of making it rich in esports is an illusion. Let's begin with the biggest honeypot, Dota 2. At the International Dota 2 Championships in August, winners OG took home $11 million out of a total prize pool of over $25 million. And Dota 2 tournaments have rewarded over $170 million in prize money since 2011. That is enough to buy you infinite copies of Dota 2 because that game is free to play. Free to play. However, the vast majority of teams will never see more than a fraction of this. Due to marquee tournaments like the International, it should come as no surprise that $75 million of this total prize money, 44% of it, has been earned by only 5 teams. I play video games to escape the cold reality of inequality, not to be confronted by it. It's great that the best teams can be so healthily rewarded, but that's also the problem with professional Dota. It's so heavily top-loaded. The concept of a Tier 2 or a minor league doesn't exist with many games, but it's especially not existent for Dota. Valve has the capacity to support amateur Dota, and it certainly has the funds. Its income from digital hats alone would be able to buy an actual miniature hat for every pet dog in Australia. Even a fraction of the international prize pool would go far in fostering the big names in Dota. But for the moment, if your team can't qualify for TI or the Dota majors, then odds are your team isn't earning enough money to sustain itself. And even if you do, a few bad matches can leave a team's members with nothing, especially those whose payments are mostly dependent on prize splits. However, there are esports that guarantee its player salaries and working benefits. The Overwatch League promoted its inaugural season by proudly announcing that its players had salary, healthcare, and retirement benefits. Hooray! The $7 billion company achieved the bare minimum for its employees. But even with these relatively respectable benefits, Overwatch League competitors were still subjected to strenuous working conditions. Just look at the Shanghai Dragons. Its manager Yang Van admitted early in the season that his players' training regime involved 72-hour working weeks. Odds are that the people that made the Shanghai Dragons jerseys had better working conditions. This is not a winning strategy, literally. The Shanghai Dragons ended up bottom on the Overwatch League ladder with 0 match wins. Overwatch? More like overworked, am I right? No, don't reward me for that one. Not now, not ever. At least the members of the Shanghai Dragons can rely on that base income. The same can't be said for the vast majority of people trying to make it in esports. In the fighting game community, for instance, there are stories of top-tier players having to skimp on the basics like food and accommodation. Pro Street Fighter competitor Ally Joe has said that during tournaments he slept on floors, under sinks, and on park benches outside. That homeless chic may work for Derek Zoolander, but it shouldn't work for the best in Street Fighter. And this problem is exacerbated in the local scene where there just isn't enough sponsorship money to go around. Some players may have a big enough Twitch following to sustain themselves with subscriptions and donations, but here in Australia, even the best fighting game players have to resort to working part-time to supplement their income, whether it be as baristas or retail assistants or insurance reps, or actually, scratch that last one. An insurance rep getting into fighting? It's way too far-fetched of an idea. This is a vicious cycle, because if they have to work, they can't practice to keep up with the pros, which makes full-time esporting even less viable, which makes them rely on outside work more and on it goes. It's the second worst Infinite combo, right behind Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The long and short of it is that it is nigh on impossible to make any sort of livable income through esports. You literally have more chance of making money by winning the lottery whilst being struck by lightning, or while singing Kylie Minogue's I Should Be So Lucky. Most likely, you'll schlep from tournament to tournament, incurring travel expenses and tournament fees along the way. And if you're lucky, you may make some of that back, but in the end, it's a net loss. So that has been the latest installment in the New Game Plus Wet Blanket Glower Hour. But it's not all bad. I'm neglecting the other vital reason why so many people in gaming tournaments compete, because they love the game and the community surrounding it. And at the end of the day, if you enjoy mastering a game and proving your worth in public, that's reward enough. Money's just a bonus. And besides, at least you won't have to appear in the esports equivalent of this. God, it's terrible. And that is everything that has happened in the world, ever.